Hey everyone, how's it going? Here. So as I was working on this video last week, and it came that Athero, the sidelaner for Method, had some comments to say about the current state of the sidelane meta. And I want to put my 2 cents onto the issue and maybe discuss a little bit about what is going on currently on the sidelane meta and why is it so stale for so many of these players. Feel free to jump out of this video. I'm just gonna toss some raw footage from the Method versus Granite game in series on the background, but the audio from the video is the most important part. So first, let's clarify the fact that I'm not a pro player, and I by no means pretend to know more than the people who play the game at the maximum level, as Athero or Darkmock, another pro player who also jumped into the issue and said a couple of things, have to say about it. So let's first briefly explain the fact that there are only 4 warriors and 1 assassin that are currently on the sidelane meta. We have Dehaka, we have Thrall, we have Jirel, Leoric, and Blaze. And all of these heroes have been in the meta for quite a long time. But players like Athero had explained that it's not about what heroes are in the meta or the fact that these heroes have been in the meta for so long. It's the fact that their impactfulness on the game is not as much as it should be. Things to do. Unless you get a kill against your opponent, which rarely happens, especially the higher level you go, the redistribution of experience from the towers to the fort and also the removal of ammunition means that rarely do sidelaners or solo laners have any impact on the experience gain, since letting a wave crash into your towers or even losing a tower is not as impactful. Now, these have been the perspectives that players like Athero have jumped into. My perspective on the issue right now is the fact that we are currently in a double support meta where the second support is actually the sidelaner. We saw the biggest example of this is on EU last weekend. The 2 games that were played with double support Tyrande, the role that was sacrificed was sidelaner. That means that the sidelaner is currently seen as more of a second support rather than a second bruiser or second frontliner. It's more of a support that can frontline and engage and has CC and wave clear. From the current 5 solo laners, outside of Thrall and Dehaka, the other 3 have very supportive abilities. Leoric, Jirel, and Blaze, all 3 have support style abilities or talents that help them be the second support for the team. We see this more and more as support style abilities come into play for sidelaners or bruisers. We have Jirel, who's level 4, is actually better than Uther's trait, a main support hero. Why do you not take Uther in the current meta? Well, because you can take Jirel and do basically the same thing, but also have a main support who can heal over time, a thing that Uther can't do. Leoric, or the janitor, as others call him, level 13 is stronger than Cassador's and Alexstrasza's level 13 when it comes to reducing damage. First, Ominous Wraith can target multiple heroes and has a 50% reduction, and it can also be paired up with the level 16 from Leoric to make basically a full team fight where the whole enemy team has 50% damage reduction. This leads to why would you take Tassadar in order to, for example, use the level 13 to avoid a certain enemy hero, a certain carry hero, how it used to be, to deal damage to your team, when you can take Leoric, who is not only more survivable, if he dies, comes back faster into the game, but also does the job even better, reducing the damage of more heroes. Now, you might ask, well, if supportive style bruisers are very into the meta, why is Tyrael suddenly not in the meta if he's basically the support main tank, right? he has been very famous over the years for being able to enable dive compositions as a pseudo support. Well, it has to do with Blaze. Blaze does basically the same thing as Tyrael does, but does it better. What do I mean by this? Blaze level 13 reduces damage for enemy heroes, and it's very easy to hit if you're diving. Blaze has an engage ability that has a stun and can be used as follow-up, whereas Tyrael doesn't. But over the years, Tyrael has had these problems, but he's still playing in the meta because of Sanctification. The issue is that Blaze's bunker is way better than Sanctification for most situations. Blaze bunker lasts longer, gives armor when you exit it, it cannot be interrupted, and it can be used to body block, and people can walk into it and jump in the other side, meaning that it's actually easier to get into the bunker than it is to get into Sanctification. So in conclusion, Blizzard over the past couple of months has been taking the ability for sidelaners to be impactful in the sidelaner as split pushers, as solo laners, and giving them more impact in team fights as enablers, as supports. And I think this is gonna be hurtful towards the grand scheme of the game. I started playing solo laner as a main role because I felt it was a very particular role. You could say is the most impactful role, both positive and negative. Losing your side laner is very impactful, but your side laner being able to create opportunities around the map for your team to follow is also super impactful. And Blizzard seems to have a new mentality or a new development when it comes to sidelaners, making them more as tanks or supports are in other MOBAs. In other MOBAs, supports don't really heal as much and are more of CC enabler bots that give some utility. That is what's going on currently with sidelaners. So we'll have to see in the next couple of months if Blizzard this is where they want the role to go, and if it is, well, we are gonna see a lot of sidelaners switch roles, and because this is not what they have been playing for the last couple of years. And I'd say it's arguably worst for the game if you have more people in supportive roles and less people in personal responsibility roles, as sidelaner used to be. So I think this got a little bit grim towards the end. Thank you all very much for watching or hearing, if you were only hearing the bits of this. I tried to ramble a lot less on this video. Thank you, Reddit, for that suggestion, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye.